We're here now with Frank Joyce. Frank is the Republican candidate for Scranton's tax collector. So Frank, thanks for being here with us this morning.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So let's talk a little bit about who you are.
Okay.
So you were born and raised in Scranton.
Yes.
Graduated from Scranton Prep.
Yes.
Went on to earn your undergraduate degree in bioengineering from Syracuse University, and then on to earn your MBA with a specialization in management at North Central University. You are currently employed as a technical writer and instructional designer at the Lion Brewery down in Wilkes-Barre. And you are serving right now your first term on Scranton City Council, where you are also the vice president and the finance chair. And you are involved both in the Scranton JCs and also in the West Scranton Hyde Park Neighborhood Watch. Does that pretty much cover it?
Yes,
all
that
right.
pretty much covers.
So, we've already reviewed information from your bio, talked a little bit about work history and education. Tell me what differentiates you from your opponent in this race. Why are you the best candidate?
Well, in this race, there's a choice between two candidates, as you know. Myself and my opponent, Mr. Fox. I firmly believe that I am the best candidate because of my education level. I've earned my MBA. I specialized in management. I have the skills and the knowledge to lead a staff to success. If elected, I would work my hardest to address some of the issues with the tax office and also with generating more revenue for the city. And I would effectively manage the staff while carrying out the mission of the single tax office.
Okay. Frank, I'm going to read the mission statement of the Scranton Single Tax Office from its website.
Okay.
So it says, the Scranton Single Tax Office mission is to complete its tax collection responsibilities for Lackawanna County, the City of Scranton, and the Scranton School District in a complete, accurate, and timely fashion. Now, it's a little hard, I'm going to say, for someone in the general public to find out information about what the tax office is legally responsible for. So the best that I could find with my internet search is from an article from the Scranton Times that said that the State Local Tax Enabling Act governs taxes and their collection by municipalities and school districts. The position and duties of Scranton Tax Collector were established under the State Single Tax Act of 1929. The Single Tax Act requires taxes for each governing body to be deposited in separate accounts and even specifies names for such accounts, such as a city funds account, county funds account, school funds account, and the law specifically forbids intermingling of the tax dollars of each of the governing bodies. So that's kind of what was in the Scranton Times, and that was kind of the best that I could find online for what are the responsibilities of the office. So tell me what you see as the primary responsibilities of this particular office.
Okay. As you know, the single tax office, well, as you may or may not know, collects real estate tax, prior year delinquent real estate tax, the local service tax, and the business privilege and mercantile taxes. With the institution of Act 32, the uniform withholding of the earned income tax and remittance to a single collector, that has been passed on to Berkheimer. So the single tax office no longer has that responsibility. The primary purpose of the office is to collect those taxes in their fullest extent. We have a problem, especially in the city of Scranton, and that's low collection rates. And I'm not blaming the current tax collector, Mr. Courtwright, or any tax collectors in the past. But currently, the city is only collecting 87 to 89% of the current real estate tax on a annual basis. By increasing this by 5%, the city would realize an additional $1 million in revenue every year. So there's steps that need to be taken in order to boost those collection rates. And one, we need to encourage online payments. Currently, there's a system in place for taxpayers to pay online, but there's a 2.75% processing fee, which is almost like a tax on paying your taxes. So on a $2,500 bill, you would be paying an extra $68.50 as a fee. Also, well, we have to either get this lowered or we have to do away with it once and for all. Also, we need to publish an online database of all taxpayers and their current status, and also businesses that pay business privilege and mercantile taxes, similar to what Northeast Revenue has done. This is a system that has worked to get delinquent payers to pay up. And also, we need to publish information in the newspaper as far as who's falling behind on current tax payments. And it's sort of like public pressure to keep people current. Also, we need to seek the strictest enforcement of non-payers that is allowed under the Municipal Claims and Tax Lien Act. And also something that Philadelphia is doing, they're looking at seizing rents of delinquent landlords and out-of-town landlords that aren't paying up to their or aren't current. So this is something that we should pursue as well. So to sum it up, the duties of the office is to collect the taxes that I mentioned: real estate, delinquent real estate from the prior year, the local service tax, and the business privilege and mercantile taxes to their full extent, with the goal of trying to achieve a full collection rate and not the current rate of 87 to 89%.
Okay, thanks, Frank. The next question is two parts. So the first part, I want you to talk about a problem, and then the second part is to discuss how you'll address it. Okay. What do you feel is the most pressing problem that's facing this office right now?
Well, I think that the office is being run very well. I think that Mr. Courtright has done a very admirable job in the tax office. I know that there were a lot of issues prior to him being elected tax collector. But I see the largest problem with the office is low collection rates, as I just mentioned before. Currently, the office is collecting current real estate tax at a rate of 87 to 89%, which is increasing the burden on taxpayers who are paying their taxes.
So what do you think is the solution to that? I know you talked about some other payment mechanisms. Do you think that that's what the solution is for that?
I do. I think that all collection efforts must be maximized. I think we have to do a better job at encouraging online payments. I think we have to go after out-of-town landlords who seem to be running away from paying taxes, and also look at seizing rents. In addition to this, we need to publish have an online database on the tax office's website where people could search and find out if businesses are current or delinquent, or if people are current or delinquent, similar to what Northeast Revenue has done for the city of Scranton in their collection of delinquent refuse fees and also seriously delinquent real estate taxes. I think if we put pressure on the people that aren't paying, it would encourage them or almost force them into paying. So that would help resolve that problem, in my opinion.
Okay. Frank, as I'm sure you know, public trust in elected officials has been impacted by recent events in our region. How will you maintain the public's trust if you're elected?
Well, if I'm elected, I will be accountable. I will be transparent. You'll be able to get in touch with me if you need me. I'll be open and honest, as I've been for 4 years on city council. I'll always tell you the truth. I won't tell you what I think that you want to hear. I'll be straightforward, and I'll be someone that you could always count on. And as far as public trust, I carry a very hard work ethic with me. I will work harder than anyone else to make sure that the tax office succeeds.
Okay, and I think I've lost my microphone.
Andrew, I'll just fix it for you, and I'll just, we'll do the cut, okay? How'd that happen?
I leaned on it. Sorry. So Frank, that actually concludes all the questions that we have for you. So you have time now for your closing statement, and feel free to include any other area that we didn't cover that you want the voters to know about.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for inviting me here, for their generosity. And I'd also like to thank the citizens of Scranton who voted me in for City Council, and those that didn't place their trust in me the first time, for coming out and expressing their opinions. My name is Frank Joyce, and I'm running for Scranton Tax Collector. The office, or the Scranton Tax Office is a very important office in city government at this time. As you know, the city is basically cash strapped. We need to collect as much revenue as we possibly could. At the current time, the single tax office is collecting real estate taxes at a rate of 87 to 89%. That's very low. Other cities are doing much better. If elected, I promise to implement methods in order to achieve a higher collection rate. I will implement a system that eliminates or reduces the processing fee on online payments to encourage taxpayers, individual taxpayers, and businesses to pay online. And also, this would reduce the strain in the office. I would establish an online database that lists all tax-paying residents and all businesses, and whether they're current or not. And that system would encourage people to pay in a more timely fashion rather than becoming delinquent. I would look to go after out-of-town landlords who may be behind on current real estate taxes in order to get them to pay by looking to seize rents. Also, I would bring forth the hardest work ethic that you would see an elected official have in order to make sure that the Scranton Tax Office achieves this goal. I have a very solid education. Through obtaining my MBA, I am very well versed in the implementation of lean processes and forming cross-functional problem-solving teams in order to conquer issues. I would implement that in effectively managing the office. This separates me from my opponent. I'm asking you to place your trust in me. Democrats who voted for me in the primary, as you know, I am still a registered Democrat. I'm asking for you to place your trust in me again. For those of you who didn't vote for me, I'm asking you to reconsider. I am confident that I could succeed in this position. I will try my hardest to make the tax office the most efficient office in local government, and I will put forth all of my knowledge, all of my skills, and all of my ability in collecting the local service tax, the business privilege and mercantile tax, real estate taxes, both current and delinquent, in order to maximize the amount of revenue that is generated for the city of Scranton. I humbly ask for your vote and support in this general election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. That concludes our time with Frank Joyce. Remember, Frank is a candidate for Scranton Tax Collector. He'll be on the Republican ballot. He's the Republican candidate, I should say. It's a general election, so no separate ballots. And don't forget to vote on November 5th. And Frank, I want to thank you for coming and joining us here today.
Thank you very much for having me.